writing your college app essays, you probably came across the prompt of the Why Us essay. Basically, the college is asking you why you want to attend that college. And if you're like me, who couldn't figure out a reason why you wanted to attend a college except prestige, then you're in the right place, because I'm going to be going step by step and showing you what I figured out to write the best Why Us essay possible. And don't forget, I'm going to be uploading videos like this all throughout college app season in September, October, November. So stay on the lookout for them, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another upload. All right, so without further ado, let's get straight into how to write the Why Us college essay. So my first step in this process is to understand why you want to attend this college. Now, the biggest things you want to avoid are location and prestige. So a lot of times I see people say they want to attend NYU or Columbia because they love New York City or they love the city vibe, or they say they want to go to an Ivy because of the prestige or the Ivy League prestige, or a T10 because it's a T10 on US News. But these are some of the worst things you can do, because not only is it just showing that you're a prestige junkie, it also shows that you don't care about what the college is offering, like their specific programs or incentives or resources. All you care about is the name. So what I recommend you do is you try starting with what your goals are. So I'll give an example of me and what I wrote for my Why Us UPenn essay. So what I personally was interested in was AI, robotics, and math. And when I went and did a little research on Google, I saw that UPenn was investing heavily into AI and machine learning. I saw that they had built a new building recently dedicated just to AI. So I knew that they were focusing their path on this type of technology. And the best thing you can do is align your goals with the university's goals. And this is a very little known thing. For the university you're looking at, for example, UPenn, go on Google and type in UPenn strategic plan. All colleges have this thing called a strategic plan where they talk about what their goals are for the next few years and what direction they want to take the university in. And when I went on UPenn strategic plan, I saw that they're focusing heavily on leadership in technology. So I made sure to mention those specific words, being a leader in technology, in my Why Us essay, because those are the types of keywords they're looking for, because it aligns directly with what direction they're trying to take the university to. So that strategic plan is definitely a little known thing that you can use to align your goals with the university's goals and write about how you want to go with the direction of the college. So the next step is you want to be strategic with the way you research these colleges. So the best thing you can do is find these three things: professors, research labs, classes, or just generally other specific things about the college. In my essay, I mentioned a professor's name, and I mentioned their research lab, and I also mentioned a class I wanted to take at the college. These are three things that other colleges don't have. They don't have the same exact professor, they don't have the exact same research lab, and they definitely don't have the exact same class. So these specific things that only apply, for example, to UPenn, are things that I put in the essay because it stands out more to the college. It knows that I've done my research, I know what I want to do on campus, and I know why I want to do it at Penn rather than at another school. And also, another little known thing about doing research is to utilize Reddit. I know a lot of people have a negative opinion about Reddit, but if you go on the certain colleges subreddit and say, hey, I'm applying to this college this year and I want a little help about some specifics that this college offers that are really nice, I'm sure there's going to be some current students at the university who want to help you out, and they'll definitely put some specifics in there. For example, they'll tell you what classes they like, they'll tell you what opportunities the university offered, and some specific programs that they enjoyed. And this definitely helped me when I was applying, because getting the perspective from a student at, for example, Penn is kind of hard from where I'm at, because I don't really know too many people who go to Penn. So going on Reddit and asking people who know more of the nuances of the university than you do is much more helpful, because it gives you that in to the university that other people don't have when just doing surface level research on Google. The next thing you want to do is to email and reach out to the admissions office. This is something that not a lot of people do, but most colleges have a regional admissions office. That means it's an admissions office that's going to be looking at your application, and they're based on certain regions of the country or international. And for me, I just realized that getting in contact with my admissions office would familiarize them with who I am. And honestly, I didn't really have a pressing question, so I kind of just made up a question. And this is something I recommend you do also, is to just make up a question just to get your foot in the door at that admissions office. Because reaching out does show initiative, and this is something that a lot of people could be doing that they miss out on. So for example, my question was asking about a clarification about my early decision application. I honestly knew the answer already. It was like on the Common App, but I just reached out for clarification just so I could talk to the admissions office and hopefully get them familiar with my name and who I am and where I come from. And if they know that you're proactive and asking questions, they're more likely to have a favorable opinion of your application. Although this is not confirmed, this is just genuinely what I believe and how I felt it came across with my application. And the next thing you might have heard a lot is about fit, like how you fit into the college. Now, like I said before, the best way to show fit is by aligning your goals with the university's goals. And make sure, please utilize that strategic plan. It literally tells you what the university wants to do. And honestly, if your goals personally don't align with the university, just make something up that's remotely similar to aligning with the university's goals, because it makes it a lot more easier for them to understand the goals that they're familiar with rather than your own goals that sometimes colleges might not be as generous to. So for example, when I was writing my Georgia Tech Why Us essay, I went on their strategic plan and saw that I was talking about how they wanted to become the leading source of tech-savvy leaders. So for my essay, I talked about how I use technology to exemplify leadership and why I saw myself expanding these skills at Georgia Tech. And although I didn't have any leadership positions of tech clubs at school or something like that, I made sure to morph that idea of tech leadership into some of my extracurriculars that I did with, for example, coding an app or doing a tech internship. I took those extracurriculars and showed how I was a leader, even though I wasn't technically a leader role, showed how I exemplified leadership skills in those activities. And the last thing is that a lot of these Why Us essays are pretty short. Most of the ones I wrote were 150 words, some of them were 300, but you're generally going to have 300 or less. So the best thing you can do once proofreading your essay, once you've written it, is to make sure you use every word carefully, because every single word of those 150 or 300 words is valuable and it deserves to be in the essay. So make sure you don't write it like a personal statement, like a narrative style. At least this is how I felt. I wrote it very direct and what I wanted to achieve at the college, what their goals were, how mine aligned with them. I made sure every word deserved its place in the essay. Don't use cliches, because personally those are just a waste of words. And always try to end your essay with a meaningful sentence about the school and how you relate to the school. Sometimes try to come up with a pun or a play on words or something that's unique and it relates you to the school. And I'll show you this by going through my UPenn essay, which I'm gonna read. And you can see how I used all these steps in that essay to get my point across of what my goals were and how they align with Penn's goals. All right, so here's the prompt. It said, Penn Engineering prepares its students to become leaders in technology by combining a strong foundation in the natural sciences and mathematics with deep study in focused disciplinary majors. Please share how you plan to pursue your engineering interests at Penn. So this is what I said. The School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, which is abbreviated as SEAS, will allow me to bridge my passions for AI, robotics, and mathematics. Having completed research in the intersection of machine learning and cognitive diseases, classes such as brain-computer interfaces and computational biology align with my dream of utilizing AI to understand better, diagnose, and eventually cure neurological conditions. So I stated my goal there. On top of that, the interdisciplinary approach that Penn Engineering offers gives me the chance to develop my skills as a pioneer and leader in the future of technology. And that's Penn's goal. By allowing me to enroll in courses such as Management 2360, Innovation, Change, and Entrepreneurship, notice specific class, I will develop innovative thinking and entrepreneurial strategies to address real-world problems. The Summer Undergraduate Research in Engineering program, notice how that's a specific program that they offer, is another opportunity for me to delve into the world of AI, medical research, and their intersection. I will work to be an impactful member of the program's Penn Research in Machine Learning Forum, which is a program, where I hope to learn from one of the best, Professor Jianbo Shi, who is a specific professor, who is working on cutting-edge computer vision algorithms focused on understanding human behavior and psychology. So that is where I use the specifics of the research lab, the researcher, and the classes that they offer. And to end the essay, I used a play on words, which you'll see here. As an aspiring engineer, entrepreneur, and leader of a technological future, rather than just finding solutions, as a Pengineer, I will make solutions for all. So there I combined Penn and engineer to make Pengineer, which I thought was a nice way to end that. So that was my essay where I used all these principles that I explained to make this essay as impactful as I could. Notice how I didn't sugarcoat it or make it fluffy or anything. All those sentences and words had a place in the essay, and it all culminated to show that I wanted to be a leader of a technological future, which is what UPenn's goals were, where they literally said in the prompt, becoming leaders in technology. So I hope this video helped you to write your Why Us essay for a college. This is honestly one of the most hardest essays to write because there's so many of them and every college has their own thing. But the best thing you can do is do your research. Low-key, you could like use AI for that, I'm not gonna lie. Make sure you understand the reason you want to attend and also the reason they want you to attend, and tie those two together. Avoid cliches, make that last part impactful, and make sure you use specifics. And that's about it for this video. I hope it helped. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. 95% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So if I'm providing you value in any way, a like or a sub really means a lot. And it helps me make more of these videos and tells me that you want more. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.